Good morning again, everyone. Let's rise in body or spirit and sing together once more. This is Winds Be Still, number 83 in your gray hymnal. We'll sing all three verses.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I am Karen Griglack, and I am your service leader today and in the choir, so just pay no attention to me running around. I am joined today by Service Associates Chris Rathweg, Nicolette Toussaint, Michaela Sievers, and Carolyn Elliott. Today's music is provided by Tad Coriath as our music director, with Julie Morris on piano, and our lovely fellowship choir, helped out by Rex Loker on guitar and Debbie Larson on percussion. Today's tech team, making us all seen and heard, is Deborah Mensch, Paula Zimmerman, and Charlie Morris. As I say our welcome words today, I want to invite those of you on Zoom to shift into gallery mode if you haven't already, and just scroll through the screens so that you can see your fellow friends and you can see the beauty and grace of this congregation. Those in person, just take a look around and with a welcoming heart toward everyone that you see. And I invite you to take in these following words. You are welcome here today. In all of the languages, the cultures, skin tones, shapes and sizes, gifts and challenges that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all of the ways that you experience and express gender and in the beauty that is who you love and how you love them, you are welcome here. With all of the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. In all of the ways that you make your living, all of the places that you are from, and no matter how far you are away, nor how soon it is until you will return, you are welcome here. Whether your body and soul wants support today, or you arrive with the capacity to help support others, you are welcome here today. You are invited to join us with a curious mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. Each of you is welcome in this place today.
We commit ourselves to being a center for spiritual exploration and justice making, and to anti-racism and anti-oppression within and beyond our congregation. If you're new here, we're glad you found us and hope that in this community, whether you're with us in person or virtually, you can experience the warmth and love of this community. Please come back a few times to really get to know us. We have many opportunities during the week for social connection and spiritual growth. Those on Zoom can check out the link in the chat to help you get connected. Those in person can stop by the welcome table in our foyer for fellowship information and our newcomer form. It's also on the QR code in the back of the hymnal. Everyone on Zoom is welcome to stay for casual conversation following the service. If you are here in person today, you're welcome to join us in the fellowship hall after service for coffee. If you're joining us on Zoom, please feel free to greet each other in the Zoom chat. And if you're a newcomer, let us know who you are so we can greet you. We love to know who is among us. Those of you in the sanctuary, please take a moment to greet your neighbor. If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with us as Karen lights the fellowship chalice. So we know where all our chalices are, please write in the chat, chalice lit in, and the name of your town. Please say these words along with me as Karen lights our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll sing our bowl again, inviting it to draw you deeper into the present moment and this, our beloved community.
When we service associates go through training, we frequently look at some excerpts from the Reverend Kay Northcutt, and it talks about a few of the reasons why we come together on a Sunday morning for services, worship, whatever you're most comfortable calling it. And one of those reasons, well, two of those reasons, the first one is to keep and mark time, to celebrate events and synchronize with the seasons of the year and the seasons of your life. And the other reason that we come together is to ritualize, to create a unity and experience that is the basis of community. Rituals create a symbolic context for people, helping them understand that they are not alone. Many things happen to people in lives that, while they should be ritualized and marked as the passing of the season, we often don't. The spring equinox is coming in just a few short days, which today is easy to believe. A couple of days ago, maybe less so. And we often have a ritual here to celebrate that. And that can look different for every tradition. Many people, and not just the pagans, take time to pay attention to the changing of the seasons. For some, it's so that they know when to plant things. Other, it's so that they know when the spring skiing is going to be good and when it will start to look like skiing on a snow cone. Some are marking how soon until school is out. Both the parents and the students have different ideas on what that means. We even have some members and friends here who actually look forward to things like Easter and Passover later in the spring. My pagan tradition looks very different to the one that's often presented here. And so I'm choosing to look at how we acknowledge this upcoming spring equinox a little bit differently. I'm going to invite you all to celebrate the coming of spring by listening to some poetry and some readings, and simply reflect on what they mean for you. It might speak to your head. It might speak to your heart. It might speak to your spirit. Or it might just be a lovely reading delivered by a friend. I want to invite Michaela to start and share with us a reading about air and the direction of the east. There is no need to rise. There is no need to turn. Please just listen in whatever way works for you and your body, and reflect on what these words mean for you.
This is a poem that I wrote. The first. Expanding lungs, pouring in, exhaling cries. Rushing from my nose, my lips, atmosphere around us, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, vapor, breath. Through tight spaces, wind around the bend, through the trees, aspen leaves, rustling underbrush, under wings, giving flight to things, people, places, ideas, rising nouns, supporting, music without it, unsung, centering, connecting mind, body, soul, presence, fueling fire, oxidizing earth, fluid like water, carrying scent, our most primitive sense, calling our deepest memories, baking cinnamon sugar on dough, wafting cologne of a first crush, blowing a storm in off the Flint Hills. Automatic, autonomic, always, until shuddering, the last. Breath, life, air. I invite Nicolette to share with us a reading about fire and the direction of the south.
We need fire to cook our food and warm our homes, But in this time of global warming, wildfires bring a terrifying new element to our Colorado summers. In 2018, many of my Roaring Fork Valley friends had to evacuate in the path of the Lake Christine fire. Friends in this room had to flee the Marshall Fire. For author Kristen Muller and her husband, who were living near Fort Collins in a home that they had built by hand, it was the High Park Fire. That wildfire burned 21 homes and claimed 3 lives. In her book, Phoenix Rising, Muller recalls, on March 26, 2012, I lost my dream home and all my possessions to a sudden and raging wildfire. After that, I detested the image of the phoenix rising, but it was all around me. My friend gave me a necklace with the phoenix on it. The old milk truck sitting at the base of our canyon was plastered with helpful sayings like, "We will rebuild, we are strong," and it had a phoenix pasted on it. Friends said we were brave to leave Colorado and start a new life in Washington State, but we were not strong. We were more like marshmallows, burnt by flames, black and crispy on the outside, sweet and gooey on the inside, too hot to touch. We fled, and for a year we went into survival mode. We were reduced to searching for the basics: food, shelter, clothes, tools, jobs. We couldn't sleep, or we slept too much. We had nightmares. My husband's had hives all over his body for months. During that time, a vision of our lost house, a hug from a friend, a broken-hearted love song, anything could make me weep at any moment. On the 2-year anniversary of the fire, we returned to Colorado to visit. We stood at our house site and looked around at the black trees surrounding us, feeling sorrow and the loss of the lives we had had. But then an eagle flew by, circling 3 times above us. Like our friends, it reassured us that everything would be okay. We have a new life now. I no longer feel like a marshmallow, but I still can't picture myself as a phoenix. Instead, I resonate with bald eagles. They're supposed to be courageous, but they simply do what's needed to survive. In Native American culture, bald eagles are the messengers between this world and the spirit world. Today, when the earth is on fire, the message that the Spirit sends us is this: take care of the earth and keep it clean. Your life depends on it. And the message we send to the spirit world is, forgive us. I invite Carolyn to share with us a reading about water and the direction of the West.
For the element of water, I offer up the lyrics to the song Into the West by Fran Walsh, Howard Shore, and Annie Lennox, written for Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Lay down your sweet and weary head. Night is falling. You have come to journey's end. Sleep now, dream of the ones who came before. They are calling from across the distant shore. Why do you weep? What are these tears upon your face? Soon you will see all of your fears will pass away. Safe in my arms, you're only sleeping. What can you see on the horizon? Why do the white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come to carry you home, and all will turn to silver glass, a light on the water, all souls pass. Hope fades, into the world of night, through shadows falling out of memory and time. Don't say, we have come now to the end. White shores are calling. You and I will meet again. And you'll be here in my arms, just sleeping. What can you see on the horizon? Why do the white gulls call? Across the sea, a pale moon rises. The ships have come to carry you home. And all will turn to silver glass, a light on the water. Gray ships pass into the west. Walsh, Shore, and Lennox created that song to end Tolkien's epic story of the heroic journeys of several hobbits, reminding us that even the smallest among us can make a difference. I invite Chris to share with us a reading about Earth and the direction of north.
For the earth element, I wore my Telluride mushroom t-shirt. If I had to choose one item to represent the earth element, it would be mushrooms. Fungi have been on the earth more than 4,000 times as long as us. They reproduce, they communicate, they heal, they eat. They feed trees and others. They have been called delicious, deadly, symbiotic, medicinal, and magical. I get inspiration from Robin Wall Kimmerer, Native American author of Braiding Sweetgrass. She says, in the Western tradition, there is a recognized hierarchy of beings, which, of course, the human being on top, the pinnacle of evolution, the darling of creation, and the plants at the bottom. But in native ways of knowing, human people are often referred to as the younger brothers of creation. We say that humans have the least experience with how to live, and thus have the most to learn. We must look to our teachers among the other species for guidance. Their wisdom is apparent in the way that they live. They teach us by example. They've been on the earth far longer than we have been in, and have had time to figure things out. Robin says, in some native languages, the term for plants translates to those who take care of us. Further, she says, even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair. Not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift.
And now we get to hear from our wonderful fellowship choir, who is going to tie all of this together for us. They didn't know it. They're going to sing of the water, of the rushing rivers, the breeze blowing through the trees, and the fire of the morning light.
Good morning again, everyone. My name is Tad Coriath. I'm the director of music here. And I think in your bulletin it may say I'm going to talk about the role of music in the fellowship. But actually what I'm going to talk about is why I like working at the fellowship. Yeah, so that question has a major assumption in it. I do in fact like working at the fellowship. It's been almost 10 years now, so there's something that's, yeah. Something's going right. So I made a little list here of reasons why I like working at the fellowship, and these are in a very definite order of importance. Okay, number one, the variety of musical things that I get to do. We are a theologically and philosophically pluralistic place, And that's unsurprisingly reflected in the music that we bring to our services. And that variety happens to align really well with my personal music talents and interests. Sometimes I'm asked, what's your favorite type of music? What's your favorite genre of music? Honestly, sometimes it's classical, sometimes it's pop, sometimes it's gospel, sometimes it's musical theater. It depends on the day, on the occasion, or the last great song or piece I heard, or the musicians that I happen to be working with at that time. I love making music with these people here, the fellowship choir. I love making music with the chamber choir. And I think, honestly, that enjoyment for me has really deepened in the past, I would say the past couple of years, as we've really settled into this place. I've maybe settled down a little bit personally, so that's great. I love, I love working with the many talented musicians and singers, from our congregation and the guest musicians that grace our dais. I love the variety of ideas, often reflected in specific musical requests that service leaders and associates bring to our planning meetings. When somebody is really juiced about a song or a piece that supports the idea or tone of a reflection, that's really fun for me to try to make that happen, to try to make it come together, to draw on the different people or the groups and figure out how to make it work in what I hope is often a pretty effective way. So I love that. Just beneath the variety of musical things that I get to do are the snacks. I love there are a lot of snacks that are left in the kitchen throughout the week. There are many days when I forget to bring my lunch, or I'm just here for a long time and I get a little peckish. And those snacks, the cookies and crackers, sometimes even cakes and pies, they are fantastic for me to stumble upon. And as far as I understand it, if the food is not labeled for coffee hour, for religious education, Carol's lunch, then it's up for grabs. Others may not have the same understanding and have wondered why cupcakes have gone missing. I would only say that I think it's your responsibility to educate yourselves on my kitchen rules. So, okay. Ha 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 ha. Just behind the snacks are the people here. What a fascinating bunch that you are. So many interesting stories and perspectives, so many experts in so many fields. If I'm honest, sometimes I have a tendency to think very highly of myself. And that has been quashed in very loving ways many times here. The many bright minds and strong opinions and huge hearts have given me many opportunities to learn and to grow and to be humbled, and I'm grateful for that. Okay, lastly, the number 4 reason that I'm grateful to work at the fellowship is because of these awesome notepads. They just behind the people, so these notepads are just perfect. They're the perfect size, they're the perfect length, they're the perfect width. They have the perfect amount of adhesion here. The paper is a really nice, sturdy stock, and you can rip it off just so, and it never tears. I've taken many of these home. For my own personal use, they're great for lists. There was no labels on them saying that I couldn't take them. So I did. That's it. Variety, snacks, people, notepads. Thank you.
Well, I was going to invite our pledge coordinator up. We love TAD, we love the music program, and there are many, many things around here that we love. And just as it is important to pledge your values, it is also important to meet with your stewards. So TK and I are going to help introduce them, and we are going to covenant with them as they do their job, and we work with them to make this place what we want it to be. TK, I think you have a couple of words. Yes?
Thank you. I think you just got a very good view of why Constance and I are happy to pledge to this campaign right there. Thank you, Tad. I know on the order of services it just says pledge chair, but I think you all know I am only the co-chair on this pledge drive, and I am the semi-co-chair at home. So Constance Holden couldn't be here today, but I know she would like to. So those people who are in the room, who are stewards, could you come to the front so we can do a little covenanting?
Tell them, come on up on the dais. Come on up, all the way up.
Oh, thank you. And while they're moseying up here, I would just like to say again a thank you to all of these stewards. We have roughly 25. Not all of them are here today, but this pledge drive doesn't happen without the stewards and without all of you in the room and on Zoom accepting a visit from a steward. So thank you for that.
Lastly, I want to invite all of our pledges that are on Zoom today to go ahead and raise your virtual hands. Use the reactions button in Zoom to raise your hand and turn on your video so that everybody can see who you are. You'll be spotlighted in Zoom, and we can see you here in the sanctuary.
So we start with the stewards. Today we covenant as a way to state our best intentions toward one another during this pledge drive. So as stewards, will you covenant with the congregation to listen to the congregants' dreams and concerns with open hearts, to keep private what should be kept private, to share only that information which you have been asked to share? If so, enthusiastically answer, "We will." Members and friends, we ask you to covenant with one another, to make time in your busy lives to accept a stewardship visit, to prepare for the conversation by reflecting upon your own resources and the value of the fellowship in your lives, to support the fellowship in the best of our ability. If so, please answer, "We will."
We will.
This is sacred work, so together we covenant to enjoy each other's company, to respect each other's ideas, perceptions, and beliefs, and to have fun while raising funds to ensure the future health of our congregation. We will.
We will.
So thank you again, stewards. Your work is not finished. We are roughly a third of the way to our goal, which is a good start for the first week, and I thank all of you who have submitted your pledges, and I encourage those of you who haven't quite gotten to it, this week would be a wonderful week to do it. So thank you one and all. I know it's not escaping anybody in the room, but this is keeping with the theme, the Tin Man and all that. Dorothy made such a great presentation, so I was invited by a co-chair to say something or to dress in this strange way. So thank you for putting up with me.
Now we're good. Now I would like to invite all of us into this time of community connection and our time of sacred sharing. If you're on Zoom and you'd like us to share a joy or a concern on your behalf, please type it into the chat window, sending it to everyone, letting us know what is in your heart today. And I will read aloud what you share, and Michaela will add a stone to our sacred waters on your behalf. If you're in the sanctuary today, I invite you to come up front and share your joy or your concern using the microphone, holding it straight out in front of you, like the rock stars that you all are. Please go ahead and say what you need to say and add a stone to the waters, or Michaela can add one for you. And if you'd rather, we can add a stone in silence. Please try to keep it brief. We all have political things on our mind, and coffee hour is a better place to share those. Thank you. And if you could add 2 more stones, one for all the things in the world that we have the words or don't have the words for, and another one for those joys and those concerns that swell our hearts or leave them tender, or for those things that we have that we can't even put the names to yet. Know that I see you, I hear you, and I love you. I offer up a very short prayer. It's called the Druid Prayer for Peace. Deep within the still center of my being, may I find peace. Silently within the quiet of the grove, may I share peace. Gently within the greater circle of all beings, may I radiate peace. I invite you all to join us in singing hymn number 396 in your gray hymnal called I Know This Rose Will Open. Please stay seated. We'll sing it through a few times until it feels like we've sung it right.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. One more time. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. Again. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
Each week, we remind ourselves to celebrate the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half of our plate to organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for BASIC, Boulder Area Sanctuary and Immigration Coalition. BASIC works to improve the lives of immigrants regardless of their legal status. They work in the greater Boulder community through advocacy, education, and the lifting of immigrant voices. BASIC provides welcome, encouragement, and support to all immigrants as we seek a country in which people and families can move about freely and safely. You can text your donation to the number on the screen, or if you are here with me at the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously, as you so often do.
for the work of this fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to this world, and for the work of Basic, we dedicate these offerings. Elizabeth Gilbert says the following about ritual. This is what rituals are for. We do spiritual ceremonies as human beings in order to create a safe resting place for our most complicated feelings of joy or trauma, so that we don't have to haul those feelings around with us forever, weighing us down. We all need such places of ritual safekeeping. And I do believe that if your culture or tradition doesn't have the specific ritual that you are craving, then you are absolutely permitted to make up a ceremony of your own devising. Fixing your own broken down emotional systems with the do-it-yourself resourcefulness of a generous plumber poet. So why am I doing a spring equinox service without a set ritual, and yet doing a service that's all about ritual? Doesn't seem like it really goes together, does it? There are no right or wrong answers here, but I'm actually going to ask you to do something. Who in here thinks that they do not have any rituals in their life? Don't be shy, it's okay. Surprising answer. Who thinks that they absolutely do have rituals in their lives? And who just really isn't sure what in the world I'm talking about? Well, I personally have some big and specific rituals in my life that I use to mark time, to mark the seasons, phases of the moon. Most of my rituals are small, and to many they seem like mundane tasks. What if I told you that my morning coffee is my daily ritual? I grab a mug in the morning, and today I grabbed a mug that my friend Sherry gave to me. It says, "It's fine, I'm fine, everything is fine." I brew my coffee, and then I add to it 1.5 teaspoons of monk fruit sweetener, and then I add half and half to it until I deem it is the correct color. Then I sit down with my mug on the couch, and I hold it until it's cool enough to drink. I feel the warmth, and I think fondly of the person who gave me my mug, or the place that I got it, or the friend that made the mug for me. I think on what I hope to accomplish today, and what I will be okay with not getting done today if life happens. I ground my day in possibility, and I allow for grace should that possibility not be fully realized. And I have been doing this same ritual almost every single morning since I was 18 years old. Well, we live in a world that currently feels completely upside down, sideways, and wrong in so many ways that we need to find those things in our life that keep us tethered to the earth, to our people, and to ourselves. Turning something in our lives into something intentional, something grounding, and something that connects us to something else is important, especially when up is down. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to turn everything into a ritual. Laundry will always be a routine that I just do. Same with dusting, or figuring out what in the world are we going to have for dinner tonight. Didn't I just do this last night? But I am saying that finding something that speaks to you. The difference between routine and ritual is finding that thing that connects you with an intention to be connected to something or to someone, be it the earth, your friends and family, your pets, fellow congregants. We have parts of the service that are ritual. We light our chalice and we extinguish our chalice. We listen to our welcome words and remind you that all of those things that make you you are amazing. And that you are welcome here. All of you. In this congregation, we try to be as inclusive as possible, and we try to speak our personal truths to the best of our abilities. Our lived experiences paint a beautiful tapestry in this fellowship, with each of us having threads that go together, and each person bringing different threads to this place to make that beautiful tapestry. Now, not every thread that we bring in here and weave into this tapestry is going to be for every person. We're all different. We've all lived our lives. Some folks bring with them what they feel are beautiful rituals from different traditions, whether it's Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu, Wiccan, Druid, Shinto, and so many other traditions that I'd be here all day if I tried to name them all. We don't have time for that. It's why we ask you to come back a few times if you're new, because things can look a little different around here depending on what week you come. All of these traditions can give some folks meaning, comfort, and a sense of time and place. For other folks, those same traditions might open up old wounds, or they might hold very little meaning for you because they defy reason or rationality. But all of those threads, even if it isn't your thread, weave together to create something truly beautiful and unique here. It is my hope that in this traditional time of spring awakening from the cold and the dark, that we can step back and look at those wonderful threads and the beautiful colors that create our tapestry here. It's also my hope that while a particular thread in that tapestry may be a particular holiday, a particular ritual, that might not quite be for you, that you're still able to take something away from it that is for you. It might be a thought, it might be a hope, a poem, a different way of looking at the same thing that you've looked at day in and day out. Hoping that you look at things a slightly different way when you leave, not necessarily profound, but that you take something with you when you walk back out at the end of a Sunday or the end of a meeting. I hope that you find your ground, you find your way to connect, you find a way to mark time and those rituals in your lives, be it as small as a cup of coffee or as big as a milestone birthday or a wedding or the birth of a child. I hope you find a way to ritualize those things in your life that you deem important. And have grace with yourself If you find it's not quite for you, but maybe this is, or that is, may you find those things, no matter how big and no matter how small. Happy spring, and blessed be.
Okay, we get to sing together one last time. This is the song For the Beauty of the Earth. It may not be the traditional tune and arrangement that you may be familiar with, but the words are up on the screen for us, and it's a song that has layers, right? It builds. So we have 3 different parts that eventually are all going to be going on at the same time. So I would like to teach you each of the parts, and then you can kind of decide what part is best for you. So here's the first one. Is that the D? These words go by kind of quickly, so here's how it goes. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Try it. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Great. So that's part 1, and that comes in first. So you can choose to sing that, and you can stay on that part the whole song if you want. Then part 2 comes in, and if you want to make it interesting, you can jump to part 2, and it goes like this. Grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we praise. One more time. Grateful we raise, grateful we praise. Okay, good, you get it, yes. Now, then, if you maybe have a higher voice, if you're a soprano or maybe a tenor, this third part goes a little bit higher. And it goes like this. Source we raise, our hymn of praise. Source we raise, our hymn of praise. Remember it? You got it? Okay, good. Here we go. So, choir. The choir is going to help us out too. Ready? Oh yeah, why don't we rise in body or spirit? Feel free to move a little bit. Yeah. All right, here we go. Part 1. 1, 2, go. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth. Skies, for the love which from our birth. Go to part 2 if you want. Grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we praise. All right, let's hear it. Part 3. Source we raise, our hymn of praise. Source we raise, our hymn of praise. Source we raise, our hymn of praise. Source we raise. Keep it going. Keep it going. back to part 2. Grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we raise. Everybody on part 1. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from above, over and around the skies, for the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from above, over and around the skies.
Please stay risen. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
Please keep staying up. Feel free to hold the hand of the person next to you or the shoulder. If you choose not to be touched today, give yourself a big hug, because you still deserve that hug. Robin Wall Kimmerer, the author of Braiding Sweetgrass, offers up this quote: "That, I think, is the power of ceremony. It marries the mundane to the sacred. The water turns to wine, the coffee to a prayer." I invite all of us to have a quick seat to listen to our announcements. And then I invite you to go forth, find your ground, find your ritual, and enjoy your coffee hour. Blessed be.
I'm going to make this, first of all, I'm Paul Austin. I'm a trustee on the board. Thank you. The Membership Engagement Council would like to invite you to today's Inquirer series. We have members from Queer Friendly Congregation Group with us today. Please get a cup of coffee in the fellowship hall, and after the service, join us in the sanctuary at 11:30 a.m. We'll conclude by 12:15. And representatives from the board, including me, Committee on Shared Ministries, and the Leadership Development Committee invite you to join them after the service for coffee and conversation with elected leaders. Look for their table on the stage in Fellowship Hall. This is a great opportunity to ask questions, get your all the concerns you might have out, and fellowship a little bit with people in leadership and get to know people a little bit better. So look forward to seeing you guys in the coffee hour. Thank you.
Wow.